Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Mika Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Animal Alliance Asia. Unfortunately, they're not available for fundraising directly through Twitch, but that's okay. If you'd like to make a donation to them, their link is in my About page description here on Twitch, or just watch my stream and bring your friends because I'll be making my usual donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count. Today is Thursday, which I can't believe because it feels like it still should be Tuesday. I don't know why. And that means it's time for illustration. We started this piece yesterday. It's Baba Yaga from Russian and Eastern European folklore or myth or whatever word you like to describe that. We got started, we got as far as the inking, starting the inking yesterday. So today we'll just carry on. I imagine we'll get the inking done, but I also imagined this being a night scene. Man, I really want this thing to come off the end of my pen. I did it! I couldn't do it yesterday. This is supposed to protect the nib. But I stuck it on the end of the pen so it wouldn't get lost, and then it wouldn't come off anymore. Okay, so I'll just lightly put it on. Anyway, this scene is meant to be lit by moonlight and the fire coming off of her flaming broom. I realized that we may even make it look like the skull's eyes are glowing. I'm not sure if I can do that at this point since I inked in outlines for the eye sockets and the nasal cavity. But I remembered that in this encyclopedia, which I'm using for this project, it said something about, oh yes, the story at the very end of her description, her entry, said she gave this girl a lighted skull as a reward for working hard for her. So maybe she's got all these lighted skulls to help guide her as she's landing or something in her flying cauldron. So let's get started. I'm using Zig, Kuretake Zig ink. Sumi Ink 60 is the specific kind. It's my favorite because I feel safe leaving it here on my desk because it has a nice wide ink pot. And also I can really see how far I'm dipping. I'm not afraid of getting ink all over the handle of my pen because it's got the nice wide opening. And this is the Ito Utsushi by Pilot. It's a dip pen, but it has a fountain pen style nib. And I'm quite enjoying it. I just got it recently in a Mito in a box. So it's sort of, it's not a subscription, but it's one of those blind boxes. You can look it up online what comes in it, but if you want to have fun, like I do, then you don't know what's in it until you open it. So this was an interesting item to get because I've never heard of such a thing, a dip pen, but it's a fountain pen nib. Oh yeah, I was thinking about this last night. I inked the flames here coming off the broom, but these are flames as well. And since this is all supposed to be dark night behind, I was thinking of not outlining the flames, but just inking around them for the night sky. So I'm going to try to do that. We'll see if we can make that effect happen because that'll look more flame-like. I can't do anything about the ones I've already done, but so I'll leave that. I won't ink that. I'm going to turn this upside down so that I don't get my hand on the stuff that I just inked in case it's still a little wet. I like my skulls that I drew with no reference. I think they look quite nice considering. Hold on. I realize I can't really see my chat very well. I turned my secondary monitor there, turn it towards me a little bit more. I guess it helps with the skulls. I drew them all with no lower jawbone, which I think makes sense anyway. The way they're sitting on this cauldron, they just fit nicer to be able to curve over the edge of the cauldron as it bulbs out. And I'm doing my best to make the skulls a little bit unique from one another. Like this one, I have it missing a tooth. And that's good. I think I can turn it back over now. Maybe. I already had those skulls done, so they should be dry by now. By today. Let's see, I guess I'll ink. It's tough because this direction of all the lines kind of going this way makes me want to ink from this direction, but being left-handed, that's not necessarily the best. But if I turn it this way, perhaps. Okay, try this. Having the fountain pen style nib, is both a little freeing and a little restrictive because it doesn't really have that much give to it. So you get a nice consistent line, but then you also don't really get that much variation in line weight. Now I'm trying to draw this sleeve to look nice and light and billowy because she's reaching up, but she's flying through the air too. So there should be some movement of the fabric, not just stretching. Let's call that good for those lines. And here is a little confusing in my sketch. I gotta remember, on top is her kerchief, because right now she's in the guise of a peasant woman. And then underneath is this dress that goes on top of her shirt. Then we can see her other shoulder, the billowy sleeve on that side as well. Here's where it's a bit tough, where I can't make super thin lines. I think I did it. I think I got the details in here nice. concentrating very hard right here. The face is so important. And it's so small. And I especially wanted to be able to show her knife teeth. The description said she had teeth of stone or knives. So of course knives comes across really easily in a drawing like this compared to stone. Stone you sort of need color, texture, maybe even sound if you were doing something animated to be able to convey, oh, these are stone teeth, not regular. Because if you think about it in a way, your teeth are made out of stone. They're made out of calcium, which is a mineral. But that's clearly not what is meant when someone says they have teeth of stone. So just keep moving the sketchbook to facilitate drawing that gets me the results I want. Now, nothing in the description said anything about her hair being long and loose and flowing like this. I just really liked it when it started coming out in the sketch yesterday. I feel like it resonates with the flames coming from a broom. And it just looks more powerful, I think. And she's definitely powerful. Yesterday I was having my mind blown by almost every sentence in the encyclopedia's description of Baba Yaga. I was like, what? How come no one has told me she's so awesome? So I drew this hair rather messily yesterday, which is fine because it's curly hair. Curly, wavy hair. But I want to be a little bit more careful with my lines now so that it doesn't bring undue attention to the hair. If there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with the hair, it sort of brings attention to the side of the page, which is kind of a weird place. It's not the main focus here. Purposefully inking outside of the frame. Alright, is that enough? Maybe a little bit more right here. Alright, that's enough. We don't want to do too much, just like I was saying. Now we just got to ink this sword. Again, since I'm left-handed, I am going to just completely turn this upside down. That way, I'm trying to make sure it's still visible in this smaller camera, but the sketchbook's hitting up against it. I think that's alright though. You can see the sword right here. Anyway, this stuff can dry. My hand can sit over here safely as I ink this sword. I think I've said it before, but I keep feeling quite happy that I went with the Maginaturalist sketchbook idea instead of Maginaturalist illustration collection or something, because, well, specifically field sketchbook. Because then I feel less pressure to make the lines all perfect or something, because the Maginaturalist doesn't have time to make each drawing absolutely perfect. She has time to get the drawing on paper before the magical being disappears. Now, to show that this hilt is wrapped and not just engraved or something, I'm going to ink each layer individually. Alright, and then we just have this tassel flying off epically. I think this is dry now, because now I'm trying not to get my hand in the ink that I just put down on the sword itself. Okay, is that everything for the main outline? I think it is. Okay, let's start adding hatching and other line work to show the lighting. So first, since the moon is shining right behind, I'm going to add hatching to her arm here, because her arm is inside of her sleeve, but it's nice light billowy fabric, so surely her arm would be showing through with the bright moonlight shining behind. And over here, her whole body is blocking the moonlight from coming through. I don't know exactly how I'm going to ink everything. I'm just gonna keep adding and adding until it looks right. So first, I think it'll be good, now that I've gotten a little bit done on the body, to start adding lines to the sky to define the darkness of the night sky and the moonlight, brightening it. And then that will help me decide on further shadows to add, because I'll have a visual depiction of the light source. It just helps my imagination. So I'm going to ink around the moon with curved strokes, and I'll add more, especially toward the bottom, where the moonlight is not quite as strong. But we'll get the first layer done and then think about that. Making a night scene with ink, black ink on white paper, always takes a while, just because you got to get the ink down onto the paper. So I will not be surprised if this is the only drawing we work on during this live stream, even though I've got 3 hours. Now the moon is covered here, but I'll just keep doing my best to use my imagination to continue these curved strokes. Sorry, it's starting to look like a nighttime scene. We're getting close to the flames now, so this is going to be a fun part. You can round the flames to make the flames visible. Hopefully it'll have the effect that I'm going for. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't, I can go back and ink around like I already did on those flames closer to the broom itself. Exie, hello! How are you? So happy to see you! Thank you for joining me today. Hope you're doing well. Anything interesting happened since yesterday? Or just nice simple day? That would be good too. Oh, wonderful. I'm always glad to hear it, that you're doing all right. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm good too. Thank you. I am already quite enjoying more Baba Yaga work today. I just left my stuff out from yesterday. That's kind of nice. When I have 2 illustration streams in a row, it means on those days I don't have to clean up my workstation. Just leave it. Just leave it for the next day and pop right back into what I was working on. I'm inking around these flames here. I didn't think to do it on the ones closer to the broom, but I'm hoping it'll still be a cool effect on these flames that are further away, flying off of the broom. Oh, what TV show? It's nice when something comes out that you've been waiting for. That's how I've been feeling with My Hero Academia. I was like, I can't believe it. It didn't feel like there would ever be any more My Hero ever again. I mean, it's the same amount of time I think that I've waited every season, but still. It feels like so long in between the seasons. And I'm so happy because this season is really, really good. So the wait was worth it, in other words. Ah, I see that show on Amazon's always telling me to watch it, so I have an idea of what it is, but yeah, it's true. I can tell from the adverts that Amazon gives me that it's not PG. But you're enjoying it? If you're waiting for it, I imagine you've been enjoying the show. Doing these lines here is nice because I can show what's sky and what's hair. If I only left it with outlines, that would be really hard to tell. Oh, good! Are you liking the new season then? I mean, I imagine it's a new season. I've heard of it before. Oh, okay, yeah. Ah, okay, I get it. You watched the previous one so that you could be ready. So, is it living up to your expectations? And is it one of those where they release the entire season at once, or was it just 1 or 2 episodes to start? Alright, we're getting back up to the moon. It's tough when I get to an angle where I've got to rest my hand on the rings of my sketchbook. I love this sketchbook, and I prefer ring bound. But that is one tricky part. Because then the heel of your hand is up higher, and it's actually a lot harder than it sounds on paper to ink in that consistent way. But I'm almost done. Oh, good. Yay! Ah, wow, 3? That's really generous. 3 episodes, but the rest will be weekly. When I've seen shows, mostly on Disney Plus, and they release multiple episodes to start, it's usually just 2. Ah, how about me? Anything interesting since yesterday? Well, I guess I've been doing, I'm quite pleased with myself. I've been practicing my first Toastmasters speech, which I'm going to be giving to my club on Sunday. And I'm using the advice that I read and saw in some prep videos to not practice the whole speech all at once. To practice it section by section and then practice the whole thing together. And that's really been helping, because then I'm just focusing on, okay, we're going to do these 5 sentences. And then I practice that until I can do it without reading my notes. So that's been going well. And I guess also today it was puppy school day. We have a dog training once a week. I mean, we do our own practicing, but like with the trainer. And that went really well. We got a lot of learning, both for us humans and for the pups. So that was nice. And now they are totally exhausted. Chappie is so exhausted, she's laying on the hard floor again. Here, I'll show you with the camera, with the little camera. Can you see? Oh, there she is. She is just totally tuckered out. She has her bed right there, but whenever she's really tired, she wants to lay on the cool floor. Thank you, thank you. Exie says hello. She gave me an ear. So she heard. Yep, so that was good. Oh, I'm trying to make sure my drawing is in here nice. Ah, there's some ink. I got some ink on the table. Okay, I got it off. Whew. Now I am just adding more hatching to the bottom part to help it make, hold on, I'm adding too many words to my sentence. To help make it look like the moonlight is fading as it gets farther away from the actual moon. So hopefully by the end we have a nice gradient effect with the hatching. So you can already see how it looks darker here now compared to up here closer to the moon. And it should help these flames stand out more too. Since I'm trying not to outline them. I already outlined the ones up higher. Can't do anything about that, but these ones lower, hopefully I can just, because I feel like that gives them a more ethereal quality like flames have. So they come and go in the blink of an eye. And I realized that I could have inked around the hair as well, but I don't necessarily want the hair to look so ethereal as the flames, so I'm happy with outlining the hair. It actually feels so quiet now after that. So we had an hour with the trainer, but we did the training at the park today so that we would have lots of distractions from other dogs and people and everything else. So in total it was, walking over to the park, which is also a training exercise in and of itself because so many dogs out walking on the sidewalks and dogs behind fences barking. It was almost 2 hours, so it feels so quiet now. Okay, we're starting to get closer to the moon now, so we don't need to add too much more extra. But I did make it quite dark on that side, so let's add a little bit more on the other side where I started. And of course we could keep adding more farther away too, trying to get a gradient effect. Lots of layered hatching. It's also nice doing the hatching so that it's not always the same column of lines, so that there's these little spaces between columns of lines. So if you do the next row of hatching on top of that, gives it overall a more uniform appearance. And you can also target specific areas. Like if you're noticing this little patch of paper seems to just not get a mark on it, then you can try to aim your line so that it gets that little patch. And I'm really excited to see what this area looks like once I get rid of the blue after I scan this into Photoshop. Okay, I think that's good for the night sky for now. Let's see how everything else looks with some more shading and hatching. Something really big I want to do is make the cauldron almost completely black. Because in this kind of scene, I think that it would actually be the blackest thing because the light is coming from behind. It's already black because it's made out of like cast iron or whatever. Wrought iron, I don't know what the difference is. It's black iron kettle. And the moon is shining from behind, which means it'll be in silhouette anyway. I'm going to try to use my lines to help give it more roundness too, and try to fill it in with a different kind of line than what I had been using for the sky, so that hopefully they look different. So the sky looks different from the kettle, both in texture and in darkness. So I figured this sort of swirling will help give the kettle a roundy shape. And it's a lot easier to fill in with a lot of ink this way too. And then it's definitely a different texture from the night sky behind. This uses so much ink, I keep having to refill my pen a lot sooner, it feels like. I'm not even scraping it off because I want as much ink on there as I can get. Aoife just did a big snorting sigh. This is also going to be great because one side of the kettle wasn't quite as round as I wanted. But with this kind of line, I can just bring it out a little bit and make it rounder. Right here. There. This is why it's probably going to take the whole stream to finish this, because to make something so black when you're only allowing yourself to use this single nib. I did think for a minute, oh, I could just get a brush out real quick and fill it in with ink really fast. But I like the idea of making every drawing in this series as if I really was a Maginaturalist in the field sketching with my few precious tools. Now I'm starting to think about perspective as I add these lines too. The way the cauldron would curve around on the sides here. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Authentic. Yes. Or true to the spirit of the story that I'm trying to tell with these images. I love it how you always know what I'm saying. You totally get it, Exie. It's like, yeah, someone understands why I'm limiting myself. I'm getting a kind of psychedelic vibe from this kettle as it grows. Sort of mad swirling. I'm now having to, oh sorry about that for that camera, that little camera, I bumped it with my watch. I'm having to move my sketchbook back and forth in order to reach while keeping my hand off of all this wet ink. Pieces like this are the reason why I love this sketchbook so much. It can totally handle all this ink with the finish. I was looking up the sketchbook because it's not available in a lot of places, though that it seems to be on Amazon now, and it wasn't on Amazon before, so that makes it easier, because before I could only get it at Barnes & Noble, the bookstore. It doesn't have too much specifics about what kind of paper it is. It doesn't even have like a weight in pounds or anything like that, like most standard art paper does. But it says it's a medium weight with vellum finish, and I think the vellum finish is what really makes it. It's because it's so nice and smooth and really holds up to ink nicely. So many sketchbooks figure that you'll be using graphite or charcoal or pastel or some other dry media where you want a lot of texture for the media to grab onto. But that's not what I want. I want nice, smooth ink paper. It has all the other features I wanted in my sketchbook too. Perforated pages, ring bound with a hard cover. It's absolutely perfect. I always get this sketchbook. I always have one of these, is my main one. I have a whole bunch of other ones too, but this is like my main sketchbook. Alright, trying to continue this swirling look, but up here at the rim of the cauldron. Cauldron / kettle, we looked it up yesterday. It's the same thing. Or I think it's like a cauldron is a type of kettle. Yeah, that seems more right to me. I think instead, I was thinking of trying to make the skull's eyes look like they're glowing, but I feel like that might be a little too much to try to do here. So I wasn't planning on it from the beginning, and it's kind of hard at this point. Plus, the whiteness of the skulls, I think, might look better with the sockets and other skull holes filled, so that's what I'm going to do. We'll say that she didn't, for that story where she gave the girl a lighted skull, she lit it for the girl, we'll say that. It's not necessarily that she's always going around with lighted skulls. Because I think the story was that the evil stepmother sent the girl out to get a light from Baba Yaga, hoping that Baba Yaga would just kill the girl. Instead, the girl helped Baba Yaga out with like house chores and stuff. And Baba Yaga was like, okay, here's your light. And then the stepmother was like, ah, that's horrific. A skull light. I don't remember what happened. Something happened to her and the jerk stepsister too. Ah! Yes, it has the complete exact effect I wanted. It looks darker than the sky. It looks like a completely different texture from the sky. Okay. Now what? So, if the moon is lighting everything from behind, I think we still need more hatching on pretty much everything. So just start adding that on the side of everything that is facing away from the moon. Oh, I nailed it. The story? Nice. I was just trying to remember without stopping to open my encyclopedia. I feel like the witches in Spirited Away, the Studio Ghibli movie, must be based on Baba Yaga because they have the like giant heads, and I think even the skull light thing was anyway. It just feels so similar. Like they're super powerful. They look like wizened old women, and There's even one who is like seeing everybody's scared of her, but then the sister is like a super nice lady, so that's even sort of the same idea. I realized that I want a little bit of something here on this side of her face. We'll just say it's more scarf, more of this head scarf coming down. Yup. I don't think the cauldron is completely dry yet. I want to add some, I really liked the color scheme I saw yesterday when I was looking up the peasant clothes from Russia. So I'm going to go ahead and make this dress dark that's on top of the blouse. So it was like a black dress on top of a white blouse with a red head kerchief, and it looked really nice. Of course, I would think that because black, red, and silver are my favorite colors, so this is very close. Let's see, maybe we'll do cross hatching to make it yet another different pattern. Do cross hatching on the dress part. This is also great practice for me. How can I get different textures, different lightnesses, all with a single color of ink and a single pen? So frankly, the less I have to change instruments, drawing instruments, the faster I can get my work done. Actually going to do triple hatch, but this is just to add a little bit of shading. We were hatching in 3 different directions. Oh yeah, it's coming along nicely. There's some areas I feel would look nice with completely inked in. No hatching or anything. Just fully blacked in with ink. Like right here. And maybe where the kerchief is hanging over the hair. Add a little extra shadow to give it some depth. Guess I'll do the sword next. There's so much to consider. The lighting in this piece. And it does get a bit hard when the blue is still here to remember that the blue will be gone at the end. And what do I want to do about that to make sure there's enough shading? I think Aoife's having a dream. huffing in her sleep. Turn it all the way upside down. Let's add a little bit onto this tassel flying away in the wind. Ink has ended up quite thick on this hand guard here. You can't take it back, so I'm just trying to make it work. Can't take it back, but you can try to even it out. I think that's all right. Well, it's just about break time, and I am feeling a little mental fatigue from all these little details with the shading. Oh man, when I look at it in my monitor over here, it looks better. It looks better than it looks with my naked eye. So I am going to set my camera here to look upon Baba Yaga as I take my 5-minute break, cap my ink, and wipe my pen. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Hexie. Yay, I'm glad you think so. This is a really fun project. I think it'll be really nice when I have like a whole bunch of them all together. Whole bunch of different magical beings in my Maginaturalist sketchbook. Alright, it's not perfect, but I think that is clean enough that I don't have to be worried about the ink drying on it and making it hard to write. That's the biggest reason to keep your nib clean as you're working, because if the ink dries on there too thickly, then the new ink just can't flow and it just sort of gets all gummy. Okay. Yay! Perfect timing. Time for a break. I'm gonna put up my little... Be right back. Boop. I'm gonna be out for 5 minutes, stretching and resting my eyes and my brain. I hope everyone will take the opportunity to do the same. See you in a bit. Hello everyone, I'm back. I hope you all had a great break. I definitely did. I had a little Unreal chocolate coconut bar. It was delicious. Now I'm washing it down with some water. Also did my stretching. Feel quite refreshed. Oh, thank you, thank you. Welcome back to you as well. Though it's hard to say if you actually went anywhere, but... Alright, opening the ink bottle back up. Okay, we can change this camera so it's not quite so in my face. I'm actually going to move my sketch kit over, and then I can have a little bit more room up here for my ink. So hard. How do I do this camera so that it can show the image but not cast a shadow on the image? I guess this is good. I'll leave it like this for now. Oh, I'm quite pleased with how this is looking. I don't know if there's a whole bunch extra I need to add. Well, maybe. So we've got this hatching here, so let's do the same thing over here with the other sleeve. Oh, Aoife. She just announced herself again, let's say. Yeah, let's add some more hatching on the hair too. The hair will sort of do kind of how I've done with the flames here. The light will definitely be showing through, but there will be some areas where the hair is overlapping on itself and being blocking the light. Plus this helps give more layering to the hair so that different pieces can be seen. Then it looks more 3D instead of just one big flat thing. Add some ink to her hand. It's also got the moon shining brightly behind it, so it'll be in silhouette. But let's just keep it to near the moon, because then that way the fingers can stand out against the dark sky behind. Might finish this sooner than I thought, because I'm not really seeing many more areas where I want to add a bunch of ink. I could like shade the face and stuff, but there's already so much going on trying to show that she is old and wizened. If I add a bunch of hatching on top of that, her face will just become a big mess. So I don't want that to happen. So I think I'll just leave her face fairly untouched as far as hatching goes. We have a little bit on the side of her head, which I think works nicely because it shows that this head kerchief is not like bound super tight to her head. There's a little bit of space and flow in between. It's really tough deciding where to put a little bit more hatching and shading If you go too far, it just gets muddled. And I'm thinking about whether I should try to make the cauldron look shaded by adding more ink just along the middle front. Maybe on the bottom. But even without it being shaded, I kind of like how it looks, so it's hard to decide. I guess at least adding more on the bottom will give it more gravity because this light is definitely coming from above and behind. So let's do that. See what that looks like. And we can be a little more selective about where the ink goes because it's already so covered with ink. We'll just look for areas with a little bit more white paper still showing through. Target those. I don't necessarily want to completely ink it in, since cast iron has this kind of texture to it, and I like how this way of inking seems to be creating something suggesting that. Work on the roundness a little bit more too. The roundness of the overall cauldron shape. Since it's now reflecting the light, it's hard to tell if I'm actually getting a shadow effect. Oh, Wolf, hello and thank you. I'm so glad to hear your impression. I am having a great time with this one. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me. Are you done with work for the day? Anything special happened since yesterday? It's only been a day and it's only been a weekday, so I won't be surprised if there's nothing in particular. But that's good too. That's always good too. This normal is good. Oh, another 15 minutes. Well, I'll do my best to make it a nice, interesting, fun 15 minutes for you. Although my brain is so focused on this that I have not been narrating my work quite as much, I don't think. So there's so much going on. I'm like, do I need something here? Is it fine here? I do think I am getting, it's really reflecting the light though, but I think I am getting a bit of shading effect now on the bottom. Of course, it's a black cast iron kettle, it's just not gonna show that much shadow anyway. I think I am gonna bring it up the front too. On the opposite side of the moon. The moon. I could also add a little more shadow underneath where the skulls are hanging down too. I think a Maginaturalist would still be able to do this kind of drawing even in the field, because my experience with field sketching is that you sketch the main forms while what you're sketching is there, like if you're sketching an animal. And then later, even if it's in the same session, but the animal has left or something, you sit down and add in the details based on what you remember, or even just based on your imagination, and make it feel like a complete drawing to your satisfaction. Oh, like Kiki's Delivery Service? Yeah. She's definitely got roots, similar roots. Eastern European. So I'm pretty sure that's where the movie is inspired to be taking place. Kiki's Delivery Service is actually, I realized it after the fact, but that's why I chose the font I did for Studio Mikarts. It's got that sort of gothic font, but it's not for, you know, gothic, like dark and whatever. It's more that European, Germanic. In Kiki's Delivery Service, it's on the bakery. So the bakery's sign, I was like, that's why I picked it, because I want to be a visual bakery. So nobody could understand when they were like, why are you picking this gothic font to write Studio Mikarts? There's nothing gothic about what you do. Like, it's not about that. I can't explain it. It took years for me to finally... it was one of those things where you feel it in your heart, like, yeah, this is what I want. And then someone asks you why, and you're like, I don't know, because I like it. Yeah, I love Kiki's Delivery Service, too. It's really inspiring as an artist as well, because there's even that artist character. Hey, I guess I don't want to give any, I mean, the movie's been out forever, but I don't want to give any spoilers, because it really is such a wonderful movie, but... So I am inking in around these skulls, not just to show more shading, but also to help the skulls stand out a little bit more by not leaving so much wet texture next to them. We'll do the same thing on the top, around the top of the skulls too. Baba Yaga, instead of a cat, has a horse familiar, I'm sure. Horse and dragon. Those are the two animals mentioned in her entry. Aoife just heaved a big sigh. Let's shade completely in right here, because Baba Yaga herself will be casting a shadow. The moon right behind her like that. Say she's blocking the light right here. And let's bring it in here too, onto the bulbous part of the cauldron. During my break a bit ago, I was thinking, if I finish this sooner than expected, because I don't know how long it's going to take me, but it's starting to feel like it's not going to be the entire stream anymore. Instead of doing a third one of these, I'd like to get started on my next big full color illustration, so that's what I'll do today. Oh yes, I love that one too. I assume you've seen it? If that's why you're asking? Yeah, I love that one. With the Baron. Oh, little pitter patter in the heart with the Baron. Gentlemanly characters are, I've got a soft spot. Do you like it? Have you seen The Cat Returns? Oh, I'm wondering. Why are you asking? Did you not like it? I actually like the other movie that has the Baron in it even more. It's called, the English title is Whisper of the Heart. The Japanese title, I think, is Mimi o Sumaseba. And that one's more of a kind of slice of life, but it's also another one with an artist and the struggles of creation. Multiple artists, actually. But it has the Baron in it, too. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. If you watch it, let me know what you think, because it is quite different. The art style is very different. It's more of a realistic movie than a fantasy movie. I think it actually came out first. The Baron made his first appearance in Whisper of the Heart. Alright, I'm really liking this now. It's so hard to show on the camera because it's just reflecting. Oh, look, now you can see. So we've got the light curving around, as light does, lighting the sides of the cauldron. But then we've got this nice dark shadow for the bottom part, and here where Baba Yaga is casting a shadow, and also just the moon is behind, so the cauldron's casting its own shadow. But now that I've done that, these skulls are really standing out because they have not been touched with any hatching. So let's give them some shading. And it's super tough because these little lines for the teeth, I don't want to lose them. But since we have this big patch of shadow right in the middle, let's shade the skulls similarly. I'm using curved lines to help show that the skulls are curved. Since the ink is so thick on the cauldron, I'm doing my best not to touch my hand to it, which is actually kind of hard, but that looks way better. Since almost every single skull is on the opposite side, it wouldn't be getting that much light from the moon. Oh, nice. What's Max? Is that a viewing service? I'm shaking my shaker bottle full of water. Water in the dregs of my smoothie as usual. Oh. Okay, I get it then. I see where they got that from. Because I remember HBO Max was a thing, so they just dropped the HBO. Alright. Terrible new name. Okay, now I know what it is, though, so that's good. Okay. I feel done with the inking. I want to look it over just to be sure. It's hard to look it over, though. I've been looking at it for so long. I'm going to hold it up, and so I'm holding it up into the big camera, but I'm looking over here at my OBS, so I could sort of see it in a different way. And then also you can see a close-up view of it as well. I think it's... What if I hold it? Okay, this is going to be weird. You're not going to be able to see it very well. Oh, look, I'll put this like this so you can see it like this. I do this a lot. I haven't done it much since I started live streaming illustration, but I've done it in the past a lot. Set my drawing up like that so I can stand way, way back. Yeah, man, I'm done. Yay! I think it looks good. Now it sounds like Cinemax. Oh yeah, that is confusing. Since they both have Max in it, they should just come up with a completely different name. I wonder what HBO even stood for in the beginning. I don't know. H Broadcasting Organization? Home Broadcasting Organization. Something. B usually stands for broad. Home Box Office. Is that really what it stands for? Interesting. So it's, the main idea was that it was movies, I guess. Okay, I'm wiping my nib off with my towel before I bring this over and scan it in. Oh wait, you know what? I'm not ready for that. I need to write my little notes on here like I did for the A Bao A Ku yesterday. And I realized I completely missed an opportunity. I didn't write A Bao A Ku. I just wrote the location. What did I write? Or location, date, and general time of day. It's like, of course, we'll do this midnight because midnight is awesome for a witch. But I want to write, I'm going to write on the side, Abao Aku, or maybe above. So I can make it about the same size as it's going to be for here. And then I'm just going to copy paste it into the other drawing. I love digital stuff so that I can do that. Do that kind of thing. I know in the past you could, I mean, you can still do it, but what would be done for something like that a long time ago before Photoshop was so easy or even existed was, yes, they would write it separately, then they would actually like tape it up here, then do a Xerox, and then you can't see this blue stuff, and then that black writing, you wouldn't notice that it was from a different piece of paper. But you can just do that digitally now, and I think that's a lot easier. Okay, so first thing, Baba Yaga. And the reason why I want to write the Abao Aku right next to it is so that I'm making it about the same size, just my natural handwriting size. If I just write it somewhere else, it might come out a different size. Wait, Abao. It's Abao Aku. Anyway, I'll have that. So, what I wrote was the place. What's a place? Let's say it's a forest. Forests in Russia. I want some names though. Russia's boreal forest. Forestry in Russia. I thought I'd just get like a list of forests, but forest names? Enchanted forest, yeah. List of ecoregions in Russia. Oh, here we go. Wikipedia category: Forests of Russia. Ooh, there's... Wait, let me look and see it. So you put enchanted forest. Let me see. Oh, there's no enchanted forest, but there's dancing forest. Noted for its unusually twisted trees. Here's if it'll focus on them. But here's these really twisted trees. So that's why it's called dancing forest. I love that. Let's use that. That's really magical. The dancing forest. Should I put... I put the Tower of Victory for the last one, so I'll put the dancing forest. And it sounds like it's not real, but that's like the real name of it. Yeah, that's funny. Chicken House gonna have some moves. The trees are jamming too. I love that visual. That's awesome. I forgot about that. I forgot about the chicken leg house. I'm just putting the actual date, the finished date, as the Maginaturalist's visual date. Well, what would you call it? The date that the Maginaturalist spotted this being. What was else what I was putting? The location. Oh, the time of day. So we put midnight. Just because it's cool. Fun. Okay. Cap my ink again and wipe off my pen nib. Almost got it. I just don't like to leave ink on there. If you can get it really wiped off, then even if you forget to clean it properly, it probably won't be damaged by the ink sitting on there if there's a teeny tiny little bit of ink. Man, I've got ink all over my fingers though. How do I do that? How do I manage that? Alright. That's clean enough for now. Clean it properly later. Ah, look at this. No! That is what I like about Sumi ink. It comes off really easily. And it maybe not off of clothing. I wouldn't recommend getting it on your clothing if you can help it. But unlike some paints and stuff, it doesn't like stain your hand. It'll just wipe right off. Probably because Sumi ink is made with ashes from a specific plant, I think. Okay. It's not... Am I clean now? Okay. Alright. Time to move over to my PC workstation. Get my scanner going. So I'm sorry, but you will have to deal with that whining noise from my scanner. That's just how it is. Should turn off after a bit after I'm done. Okay, make sure to move my phone away from where the microphone's gonna be. Move my keyboard and mouse over. Let's get the... Oh, my mouse is struggling. It's not on its usual mouse pad. There we go. Get the scanner software up. Okay. So give me a second. I'm gonna mute my mic while I move it over. Okay, I'm back. Now, turning on my PC desktop display. There we go. Now, let's see, I'm gonna take my swipey brush in case there's any little hairs or specks or something on here, and wipe both my scanner glass and my sketch. Well, it's not a sketch anymore, my drawing. Put the drawing on here, line it up, put the lid down, and preview. Boop. Put that swipey brush away. Oh! Okay, have a great trip home safely. Bye! Thanks for joining! Oh, I didn't put the sketchbook in the right way this time. I had to flip it to get it to go the right way. So now we're going to just move this marquee so that it fits around here nicely. That looks good. So scan, and I've got that A Bow A Coo included. While this scans, I'm going to drink some more water. Let me know if there's any of that weird interference that happens from my phone. I've got it on the other side of my desk from my microphone, so hopefully there won't be any issues, but... Ah! Almost done. I'm watching the light slowly move by on the scanner. There we go. Excellent, so we can turn that off. Oh, I realized, yeah, I'll just do this. Okay. I'll turn my scanner all the way off to get that annoying buzzing noise out of this stream. So open this with the Photoshop. Normally I just let it go so that my scanner stays in standby mode. But I was checking out what the recording was like for my stream yesterday, and I was like, what is that annoying sound? And I was like, oh, it's my scanner. So I just remembered, oh yeah, I can actually turn it off. I don't have to leave that. Okay, first, let me deal with Lazy Nezumi. Smoothing Subtle is all I ever use for that, so I'm just going to minimize it. If you heard that big whooshing sound, that was my PC fans being like, oh no, we're doing Photoshop. Ah, freaking out. So we're just going to open this. We don't need any camera raw filters on it. I want to also open this one from yesterday because I forgot. The most important thing, what you would write down, is the name of the subject of the picture. So I'll be able to bring that over. In fact, I think I might just make a copy of this. Let's see. I don't remember how you do that in this more updated one. It used to be you just right click and it says make a duplicate file. I'm not seeing it though. Maybe under file. Why can't you do it anymore? It was so easy. So it was like you right click. What if I move it to new window? Can I do it then? Ah, you have to move it to new window. Then you can make a duplicate. So what I want to name it is 0613. Maginaturalist 2. Baba Yaga. There. Now I want these back there. Okay, good. Well, it's kind of annoying that you have to do that. At least I know that I can, though. So what I wanted to be able to do by making a duplicate is sort of line it up. Line these edges up with the... to make it about the same size as the one that I did yesterday. But first, let's just get rid of all this blue stuff. So we want to do adjustments and desaturate. It gets rid of the blue color, and then we'll just mess with levels until all the grays are gone. So you can still see a lot here. So we're just going to keep taking it. I wonder if making it a little darker would actually be good. So I really want just like a black and white image. Still a little bit by her nose. All right. My pen is a bit thin here, but the letters aren't completely gone, so we'll just call that good, I think. This little foot here on the cauldron is visible, but once we make it basically black and white, it disappears. Ah, the flames look really cool though, I think. So I actually feel like I didn't do this on purpose, but I kind of like the idea of they're more defined as they're coming out of the broom, but as they're floating away into space here, they're dissipating, so it makes more sense for them to be a little less defined. Let's call that good. Ah, I love how this looks. It looks almost like a print, like a classic you carve into the whatever thing and then you put ink on it and roll over it kind of print. A printmaking print. Okay, first we have the full drawing. This one I'll just use, so we'll do the same thing. Make copy. Full drawing. And, okay, yep. So this I don't need the reference of the other one for, because I'll just fit it so it looks nice along all the edges. It actually goes a little bit outside either way. But that's okay. Just fit it how it looks nice. Something like that. Yeah, let's say that's good. Okay, now this is the one that I want to line up with yesterday's image, so I'm going to make this opacity 50 for the layer that's on top, the new drawing that we finished today, and then that way I can sort of line it up. Control T to transform. Oh, I've got to move it down in order to get that corner. And we'll just try to line it up with the other image below it. If you're hearing a little scraping and scratching, my big dog Aoife's having a dream and her little paw is scratching against the board that it's next to. So I think we can actually make this a little bigger. Okay, I think the size is good, so we'll leave that size, but we're going to center it sort of on its own merits, I guess, trying to get an overall sense of this side being equal to this side. I feel like it needs to move to the left a tiny bit, maybe a little to the right now. And we want to move it down a bit to make room for these titles. Actually, I just realized. Okay, I like the size. I've got to copy this. I'm thinking about my order of operations here, so we're going to cut this out. Control X. I like Control X being cut because X looks like a pair of scissors. I've always thought about that. Okay, so we're going to paste this. Control V is paste. And just put it up here. We'll Control Alt and we'll just center it, I think. Oh, that was pretty close. Control D to deselect. And then we will Control E to flatten it so that it's now part of this layer, which is about right with the Baba Yaga. And I want to move it down a little bit now that we have text at the top. This feels like too much space at the bottom, and I'm going to count how many taps of the down arrow key I do so that I can do that same amount of taps for Baba Yaga. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 13, 14, 13. Let's do 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So now it's lined up from top to bottom. Now let's get it back to where it was. Left to right. I think that's good. Let's save this. I remembered sooner today to save. And now we don't need these other layers from the other drawing for this one, so let's save again actually. Oh, and we'll rename this. What did I name this layer on the other one? Drawing with text, so we'll name this Drawing with Text. Save it again. And we'll save this one too, because I made those changes. Something else I realized, I've still got this little blank space where I cut that out, so let's make a new layer. Fill it in with white. Oh wait, you know what? I don't even need to do this. I can just fill in this square by tapping. And I tap a few extra times because, no, never mind. I'm not going to do it that way. Stick it away. That's why I tap a few extra times, but it went too far. Now we'll just do it the old way. Make a new layer. Basically what I was going to say is if you fill, it doesn't necessarily fill the edges where the new fill meets what existed or what still exists. And so there would be like this little line of empty pixels around the edge. But I just reminded myself of why I don't just fill in and why I do a separate layer, because if you keep filling in too much, it takes away from the black ink lines. So we'll just do it this way. I have to rename it again. Drawing with text. Okay. Save. Yay! Oh, you know what? I gotta fix this. I got this fairly centered. Although actually I'm gonna fix it. Because I fixed this yesterday too. I say fixed. Let's don't say fixed. Let's say adjusted. I adjusted this to look rather centered. This already looks pretty close, but I do want to move it. This, not close. So let's move these. In fact, I will undo what I just did so that that layer is still available after I move these. And all I gotta do for this is click this center button here. Oh, no. Never mind. Okay, we're going to Control X. And we're going to paste in place. Control All on this new layer that it created. Now I can center it. Deselect. Let's do the same thing down here. I like this space I've got between these three little bits of information, but overall it's really far to the left. So let's scooch it. We'll do the same thing. Control X, Control V. Wait, nope, we want to paste in place, which is a whole bunch of keystrokes, so I just use this menu option. Now Control A to control all, to select all, and center. Deselect, boom. Now let's group all these layers. Whee! Oh, that looks so much better. Rename it however many times this is drawing with text. Save once again. Yeah, man, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. Okay, we can close this one. We don't need this one anymore. And this one has been updated. I'll have to resave these for posting them online, because I don't post at full size. Full size is absolutely humongous because of how I scan at 600 dpi. But I don't think I need to do anything else on this one other than that sort of saving stuff, which I'll do off stream. So I think I'll take my break a little bit early, and then that way I can also spend a few minutes getting prepared to switch to a completely different project. I have done the preliminary work already. I just couldn't make a decision last year, and so I ended up not progressing. So I've got to go dig that stuff out, which means my break might be a little bit longer than usual, but I'll try to be quick. And we'll be moving back over to the physical media workstations. But for now, let's be right back on the screen. I'll mute my mic, and I'm going to take my 5 minutes, and then I'm going to do my transition work to the next project. So I'll see you in a bit. I hope you'll also take a break. Hello everyone, I'm back! And I've got my workstation set up, so I just need to... What do I need to turn off? This. Haha! I realized I want to do something really quick before I move on to my next project, which is tape this little sketch and brainstorming sheet back in here. I like to do that so that when I go through my sketchbooks again, far in the future, I'll see this next to the finished piece and be like, oh yeah, I did all these and these are the things that I chose, and I just think it's fun and I feel organized when I do it, so I just use a little artist's tape. Tape it back into the sketchbook. I love these things. Little MT tape. It's supposed to be for that washi tape, but it works really well with masking tape too. Or masking tapes type things such as artist tape. Artist tape is not the same as masking tape. It's a slightly different like thickness and texture. But I think the overall idea for the adhesion is the same, which is that it should come off relatively easily without damaging the paper or damaging the surface that it's on. I think that's something it shares with masking tape. I'm just going to do a little bit more on the side to stabilize it. It's slightly farther down on the right side. I don't want it to stick out of the sketchbook and get damaged because of that. Come on, thing. Do it. So we flip it over. Oh, I see. It's really on the top on this side. That's why. There. Ah, no. You have to watch my sketchbook maintenance. What am I streaming today? Sketchbook maintenance. There. That's good enough. Now I shall stabilize it on this side. With a little extra tape. Ah, how did it? It's still not quite. Whatever. That's good. We'll do the other side too. Just a little bit. Boop. Now I can flip it over and line it up better. Ah, came off. I thought I could line it up better. And do the same with this side. Maybe. There. Hooray! That's us back in there, and we're done with Baba Yaga. I'm gonna move on to my Summer Gryphon. It's the only seasonal Gryphon I haven't finished yet, and I've got notes and things I did last year trying to get it done. Summer is on the way here in Boise, so in the northern hemisphere, so I'd really like to get this done this summer because I've been working on this seasonal Gryphon project for 2 years, I think. Like 2 or 2.5 years now. So here's my Summer Gryphon brainstorming that I did. The things I highlighted was subject, summer sunflower. The bird I chose was lazuli bunting. And the lazuli bunting lives in well-watered, bushy pastures. So I matched it with a North American water vole. I picked the lazuli bunting because it eats sunflower seeds. And so then I found out about the water thing, and so it matches with water vole. Actually, water vole just basically looks like a rat on the back half, so it would be another one that looks like a rat on the back half kind of griffin, so. A bird paddle boarding. Beaver birds building sandcastles on the beach. That's so cute. Hold on, it's so fun. I gotta sketch that. I'm gonna sketch that real quick. Bird paddle boarding. That's such a cute idea. We got the wings folded over. Cartoony style, because of course that would not happen in real life. They don't fold their wings like this, but holding the paddle. The other one flapped over. Flip, flap, flop over. Smile. Smile. Hee Having a great time on the lake. Legs. Other legs. Yeah. That's so cute. Cute ideas. Get the paddleboard in there. More solid. We've got the water. I'm not going too fast, but the water coming off. Creating waves. Paddle going in the water here. Fun! Thank you for these fun ideas. What was the other one? Beaver birds building sandcastles. That one's more complex. I loved when I was a kid when we went to the beach. We always had that bucket that made this shape, you know? That it had the holes in the bottom, so it made the shape like the castle. What would you call this? Turret? Is that what it's called? So it had these little stones sticking up like square teeth. No, one for turrets and one for walls. Yeah. Let's see. They've got little... Let's say they gouged out little holes to look like windows. This is nice. It's giving my brain a chance to be free. Okay, so beaver. Beaver birds. We'll just do another generic kind of looking bird. Oh, maybe we'll do duck. Beaver have their tail looks like kind of like a duck beak. But it'll just be a cartoony duck because I'm not an expert at duck drawing. Have their wings doing something. I guess we could have the wings back, like, because they're griffins. Duck, beaver, griffin. There's a new griffin added to my bestiary of griffins. I don't know how beaver feet look. I think like this. I think they look like really big rodents because they're big rodents. So we'll just draw it kind of like a rat. But their tails are those lovely whapping tails for packing the mud in. Oh, and the duck feet are great for packing the sand in, too. I'm not sure how to draw the duck foot in here. Whatever, just pretend that there's something there. Let's put another one here. Happy. Anime happy eyes. And we'll have the mouth open a bit. You're like, yay! duck foot comes out. Patting this wall nice and solid. Wings, neck, wings. Let's have the, I don't think beaver tails work like this, but let's have the beaver tail all up and happy, kind of like how dogs and cats put their tails up when they're happy. Oh, I smudged the graphite everywhere. Ah, that was refreshing. Refreshing my brain. Thank you. So I do have some sketches I've done. Here's some things I was thinking of including: sky, bees, snails, and butterflies. I have this list of props. Oh, and I had made this note about portfolio needs. What am I missing out of my portfolio? And I put less straight-on compositions because I pretty much frame everything just straight on. Baba Yaga turned out pretty good. I did it from the ground looking up, so that's good. More unusual angles, so Baba Yaga helped me out there. I have a couple different narratives that I wrote out. So I'll just, and then here's my winter stuff, because I was just like, forget it, I can't decide, and I went on to winter because summer was over. So here are the sketches. I still have my stuff from the birthday griffin in here. I gotta take this out. Set it over here. This is also from the birthday griffin. Ah, here's my template. Here they are. Oh, this is birthday griffin too. Okay, those all go together in my box that I keep my finished projects in. Okay, here we go. So I like the idea of sunflowers because for all of my seasonal pieces, I've been featuring a plant that sort of speaks that season's language. For spring, I had sakura, so cherry blossoms. Winter, I had a pine tree. What did I do for autumn? Of course, I had a Japanese maple, very iconic for autumn. So for summer, I picked sunflowers. And I was thinking of adding more little people into the scene. That's why I had highlighted stuff like bees and snails. That maybe there are other griffins here and also other beings, because so far, spring and winter were just a single griffin with like nobody else. No other griffins, no other animals. Autumn, we had the nice group of griffins, but again, no other animals. So I think it would be nice to do something. To be honest, I really like this composition where the sunflower is absolutely gigantic. Here, I'll hold it up. This line in the middle is where the card fold would be, and this would be the front, and this would be the back of the card. So there's plenty of room to add in another griffin, and even to add some bees or snails. I'm looking at some of these other sketches I've got as well. Because this is still this straight on thing that I keep doing. I keep just drawing it looking straight at it. Or maybe a little bit from the bottom. I think my autumn one, I angled it a little from the bottom, but it's still pretty straight on, and definitely the winter and spring ones were. Then again, maybe for consistency within this series, it would actually be good, and I can do some other angles in different projects for my portfolio. This is one where I tried a completely different angle. We're from the snail's point of view, looking up at a bird bath with the griffin splashing about. That's a completely different. Oh, but I put this note. Can't tell it's a griffin because the griffin part is behind the bird bath, so that's why that one didn't work. I do have a couple more spaces I can try sketching. This one is the griffin flying overhead, and the viewer is maybe even laying down in a field of sunflowers, and so that's what all these sunflowers are around. And you spot the griffin flying across the sky. All that said, though, I really like this one. I really like this one with the giant sunflower and the little griffin on it eating the seeds. Wolf likes the top middle, but maybe with more going on. Different angle and flying. Top middle? The very top, like this one? Or like this one? Here, I'll hold them up. You like that it's different. So there's all the, oh, you can't really see this one. There's this one too. So there's all the sketches. Of course I can do more sketches. Not just sitting in a tree or something. True, that's something I was trying to get a little bit different. Especially since summer is an active time for everyone. So good point, good point. Even though I like this one so much, it's so still. So maybe we can do, let's do some flying. Let's do some flying as if we're gonna fly. Awesome, thank you for your opinions. It really does help. Helps me think of things in a different way. I have a couple more spaces here, and if I feel like I need some more space, I'll just print another one of these sheets off. So yeah, flying would be really nice. We can get the nice, like what if we got completely from underneath kind of angle? Something like this. I don't remember what the lazuli bunting looks like, so I'm just going to do generic wing shapes. Generic sort of leg shapes. And the water vole has a rat-like tail, so we'll just have that swinging by. This is why I kept putting the summer one off. So there's so many options, and now it gets harder. The more you do in the series, the more sort of limitations there are, or things that you want to match or something. So this is if, so it's similar to this one actually. This is if it was completely under. But what if we added more than one griffin? Oh, and I have a great idea. I was like, how do I get the flowers in? Well, they could be holding. Not all sunflowers are gigantic. Some sunflowers are little. So maybe they snipped off a sunflower head and carrying it back somewhere. Right, this one's just holding the whole head, maybe. This one's got it by the stem. Yeah, bringing nesting material. I love seeing that too in real life. There was a mourning dove the other day, and it was just outside. I was sitting on my back patio, and it kept flying down, picking up stuff, and flying back up to make a nest. It's not on our property, but it hangs over our property. A big, I think it's a maple tree. I can see it right outside my window right now. It just, I don't know, for half an hour or more, it just kept flying down and it'll fly back up with a little stick or piece of hay or something in its mouth. Yeah, so that's how the flowers could be in here. We could even have some smaller ones up, flying up higher. I don't know if they all need to be in a perfect line like this, but I don't know how else we'd capture multiple griffins if they weren't flying together. Maybe this one just got stem with leaf on it. I don't know what sunflower leaves look like. Just draw a generic leaf. V, like draw them in a phalanx. I don't know if that's what you meant, but that's what I'm gonna try. The wings are kind of iffy. I don't know what I'm doing with these wings. It's okay, it's a sketch. Oh, these are too close together. It's hard to make enough room for a V. Since, I mean, we could do maybe we could do a V right here. Okay, I do need another sheet for more sketches, which is great because now I'm getting ideas that I wasn't getting before. I was stuck before. Last summer I was like, yeah, let's get this done. Oops, I forgot to bring my mouse over. I need my mouse in order to print the little sketch sheet. Alright, where is it? Open. I guess I can turn this on so you can see what I'm doing. I think it's under art creation aids. And what is the size I'm doing? 10 by 7, I think. Yes, because it'll be a 7 by 5 when it's folded. So now we shall just print. Cute caterpillar. Yeah, that'd be cute. Oh my gosh, Photoshop crashed. It's doing that thing again. It hasn't done it in ages. Oh man. So Photoshop Creative Cloud has had this issue for years because I've tried to look it up and everyone's like, I've reported this issue, it's still happening. What just happened was if I try to print a file that's kind of older, or if I haven't printed it in a while, I haven't opened it in a while, Photoshop will crash. And the only solution, literally the only solution, is to uninstall and reinstall Photoshop. So that file is only a PSD, so you're going to have to, oh, I clicked the wrong thing. I need a Creative Cloud. You're going to have to bear with me. Unbelievable. They still haven't fixed it. I've reported it as well. Sometimes when it crashes, it gives me that, do you want to report what happened? And I'm like, yes, I will report it and give you a detailed description of what happened. Right, I'm going to close that because update available. It doesn't matter. I've tried that too. You have to uninstall and reinstall. It's so annoying. And you have to remove, this is so annoying. You have to remove your preferences because it's something to do with your printer preferences that it can't deal with. So you have to start from scratch. I wish that this wouldn't happen. Why? Why Adobe Creative Cloud? Why can't you fix this issue? I'm not the only person having it. Alright, now we can install it. At least it should install with the update, so... two birds, I guess. Wolf, this cat. Scaredy cat. Man, it's super, super frustrating. There's many solutions people have proposed to the issue. And I've tried multiple different times to be like, well, maybe this time those will work. My PC is turning up the fans. Well, at least the install is going pretty fast. I hope you can hear me all right over the sound of these incredibly loud PC fans. Alright, here we go. And if it still won't print, if it still crashes, then I don't know what to do. Let's try this. Let's see. Can you just open the app, please? Okay. There we go. Right? It's so intense. PC is so intense. Okay, here we go. Open. No, I don't want cloud documents. I never use cloud documents. I like to know exactly where my stuff is. Alright, desktop. Okay. Career files, visual arts, art creation aids. Onegaishimasu. I'm begging you. Work. File. Here we go. Print. Yay. It shouldn't be this hard. I just want to print this little page of little black squares. I don't know why it's such a struggle. Anyway. I want to double check this. This looks correct. Center, yes. We don't want to scale though. And on the brother printer, print. Boom. Yes, go ahead, please. Thank you. Oh, it has this thing. I hate this thing. I don't want you. Hide bar. Now I have to change all this stuff over here. Oh, I wish I didn't have to do this. Oh well. We are done with the PC, so for now, maybe something will come up. I'll walk around to the back to my brother printer. Got my sheets. Boom. Okay, now I gotta move my monitor back. Narrating the printer sound too. Woo! I left my mouse. Lost it all. Okay. There we go. Hold on. I gotta refresh my instance of Twitch here because it seems confused. Alright, there we go. It was telling me that I was offline, and I'm like, OBS looks fine. Okay, so I'm not offline. New set of sketches. So what were some of the ideas you put in there? One on the flower and then a V in the background. Well, if we did that, let's have the flower down here. And just like the little head. And little head peeking over. Wings. Looking off into the distance. And little foot here. And it's interesting, these little yellow bits on the sunflower are apparently not petals or something. That the petals are actually green and these are something else. Hold on, I gotta look that up because I remember when I was researching sunflowers. Ah, Wikipedia is still up. Perfect. I'm just going to put in sunflower and search. Oh, it's a large... Listen to this. I've never heard this word before. The common sunflower is a species of large annual forb, F-O-R-B, of the daisy family Asteraceae. The common sunflower is harvested for its edible oily seeds, which are used in the production of cooking oil. What in the heck is a forb? Oh, it can be spelled with a PH, P-H-O-R-B. Herbaceous flowering plant that is not a graminoid. What the heck is a graminoid? It says grass, sedge, or rush. The term is used in biology and vegetation ecology, especially in relation to grasslands and understory. These are dicots with woody stems. Now, dicot, I remember. Dicot has the seed has two sides. Forb. I'm not talking about the petals, though. Etymology. Description. Here we go. Well, what is often called the flower of the sunflower is actually a flower head of numerous small individual 5-petaled flowers, florets. The outer flowers, which resemble petals, are called ray flowers. Each petal consists of a ligule composed of fused petals of an asymmetrical ray flower. Interesting. So basically the actual technical flowers are this middle part. This ring in the middle is a bunch of little flowers. And then each petal is a flower, but like it grows in a flat way. I think that's what it was saying. Anyway, that was what I was trying to remember about sunflowers just now. Oh, I just got my wee fickle. That's what that fanfare was. Okay, so we've got this little fellow watching. We've got a little phalanx of these bunting vole, lazuli bunting, and water vole. I guess this one would be bigger, closer to the viewer, I think. It's hard to think about the angle as I'm sketching. I want to look up the lazuli bunting. I think I chose it because it's a lovely blue color, so I wonder if maybe it would be better not to have it, although I don't have to have a blue sky. I want to remind myself of that. Summer just always means blue sky to me. Like even right now, I cannot see a single cloud out of my window. It's my least favorite kind of sky. I like the clouds, but that's what summer is like blisteringly hot. The sun just pounds down from morning to night kind of thing. So I always think of blue sky in summer, but it doesn't have to be. It could be, there could be a thunderhead, for instance, growing, and we could have a little patch of blue. That's actually quite nice. I like this composition. So that if these lazuli buntings are, no, I can just search it on Wikipedia again. I love Wikipedia. I occasionally give them a donation because I use them so much. Lazuli bunting. Oh, they're precious. They are absolutely precious. Look at this little sweetie. It's so cute. I didn't remember that it has the white on the bottom and the little orange patch around the neck. Absolutely adorable. There's another picture in here. Oh, they can be slightly different. Look at this one. I zoomed in, so it's a little pixelated, but this one has got orange all across the underside. And maybe even on the top, too. That's interesting. What other pictures do you have for me, Wikipedia? This is a drawing. Someone's drawing of. Those are the only pictures that Wikipedia has. But now I have the general idea. So I think that it's actually a little bit tough. Because against the blue sky, the blue feathers would disappear. But against a cloudy sky, the bottom part would disappear. Well, it wouldn't disappear, it would blend in. Interesting. Let's look up the water vole while I'm at it. Water vole. Oh, this is the one I want. The North American water vole, because the lazuli bunting is only in North America. It's the largest North American vole. And it has a much smaller region. It's just basically, it's actually just barely in where I live. The sort of, I think it just barely mists where I live. It's in most of Idaho, but not the bottom part. But it's definitely within the same range as the lazuli bunting. And it makes sense. Lazuli bunting, the bird, would have a larger range because flying makes it easier. But what about, there's any photos? I guess there's not any photos. That's too bad, because seems like it says least concern for its conservation status, so it seems like it wouldn't be that hard to get a picture of it. Alright, I'm going to look at the list of references. Maybe there is a site that looks like... Reproduction and population dynamics of the water vole. I'm just going to search Google Images. North American water vole. Aw. It's also quite cute, though you don't get to show the face with the griffin, but... There it is. Aww. It's just so cute. This is water vole. It's basically a water rat. It's adorable. So the back part of this griffin is going to be quite easy to draw. Oh! Look at this one. They're eating a blackberry. It's so cute. Oh, you think it's cute too. They are so precious. Just, oh. Here's one that sort of shows the back. So, as you can see, it's very rat-like, so I don't even know if I'll really need much reference images. But it's good to be reminded of that. I think instead of having it be purely the lazuli bunting on the front, the water vole on the back, I'll change the fur color of the back half to match those brilliant colors that we saw from the bird half, the front half. So that means it still is something I want to keep in mind, the coloration of this griffin and what background is it going to be sitting on. Let me sketch it. Yay, me sketch it. Yeah. Oh, I don't know exactly what water buffalo look like. I'll do just like a sort of generic cow. Big cow. So we've got this like big, beautiful beast. But the head is the... Oh, this is so fun. We gotta have the wings. It's not a griffin without the wings. Whee! Ah, brilliant. Good idea, Wolf. Oh, unbelievable. There we go. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I don't know if the anatomy on my legs is good, but... in order for it to be so small, the front legs have to remain the water buffalo or whatever buffalo legs, so... That's all those wings coming out. Boop! You did that so quickly. Well, I just did a generic looking cow, but... Aww. Yeah. The mismatched griffin. The griffin that was different. But he finds a friend. And the friend is... How do you do the opposite? He finds a friend. Has the little bird body. Waving. Waving, hi! Wings coming down. But... Oh, I don't know how to draw a cow. Oh, and cows are so cute. I can't draw. I can't draw a cow. Ah! The story is he finds his friend, the other mismatched griffin. There. It's supposed to be waving, but I drew the neck. Hi. It doesn't exactly look. There's the fourth hand. Literally can't move. Yeah. Very hard to fly. See the other wing over here. Very, very hard to fly for this little fellow. Especially with his little bird stick legs. Hey buddy. Boop. Move, heart. I'm not alone anymore. Oh, you know what? But then they come to work together. And this guy comes to live on here. And this one is like, yeah, I'll take you wherever you need to go. And it works out. Cute. Needs a cane to help support the weight. Perfect, because I wasn't sure what to put in this hand. Let's put the cane. The hand isn't quite grabbing it. It's hard. The more sketches I put in, the less it looks like anything. There! Oh, but with the cane, though, let's make it really snazzy. Add a top hat. Yeah, I'm totally not working on my project at all right now. And the wings hanging down look like a tailcoat. Nice! This is awesome! That was a good mental break. We've got some great sketches coming out here. Thanks to all of your crazy ideas, Wolf. I love it. Oh, we only have about 10 minutes left. I do really like this scene here, but I am concerned about whatever background I put. These griffins will be lost in it, in the sky, which is probably the reason they have the coloring they do. I imagine it's great camouflage. Especially since, what did I write here? They were near wetlands or something. Well-watered, brushy pastures is what I wrote. I even wrote on here, so cute, next to the North American water vole when I was researching last year. Yeah, 10 August 2022. Well, maybe instead of a V, we could have them flying all over the place. So we could still have this sort of straight on look. Oh man, I'm getting hungry. Can't wait until dinner time. I took a rest day today because my hamstrings were stinging all week from my some training for a half marathon starting since last week. Half marathon is in September. So I've only been training for a week and a half. My hamstrings are complaining. So, since I wasn't exercising, I am trying to not eat too much. Because I realize that a really good reason for me to drop a little bit more weight would be to help me with running. Because with these really long distance races, the more you weigh, the more effort you have to do to get yourself there. So I'm like, at least if I don't gain weight while I'm doing this training, that would be good. So that's why I'm hungry right now. So let's say I have one. So I've got to close my eyes and imagine, like, what if they're darting back and forth? Maybe one is taking off right here. And I really like the idea of the sunflower hanging down, like they snatched a little sunflower to bring home to their little baby griffins. Oh, wings need to be longer. Wings always need to be longer to support the weight of a griffin. We have somebody flying downwards, so maybe their wings are tucked in. I loved seeing this recently. I've noticed that some birds fly. They'll be flying straight across through the air, and they'll go flap, flap, zoom, and they tuck their whole body in and become like a bullet. And so like flap, flap, zoom, flap, flap, zoom. I never noticed that until this year. I first noticed it on a woodpecker flying like that, and then I noticed some other little birds I couldn't identify. They're so small, but they were flying the same way. So that's what I'm imagining. This one is doing the flap, flap, zoom style flighting. That's my description, flap, flap, zoom. So what's another direction? We have one flying up this way. Maybe this one's wings are fully extended. We can have some other little friends. How about little bee? Little bee flying around. It'll of course be my favorite adorable, cute bumblebee. I love bumblebees so much. They're so cute. They're so fluffy. Maybe this bumblebee. There's a bumblebee here sharing. Doesn't really look like a bumblebee. Just looks like a little black thing. The carpenter. Why? Because I said that I liked the bumblebees. Carpenter bees are fluffy too. They're honorary bumblebees. So I remember looking them up because I was like, what kind of bumblebee is this? And they're like, it might be a carpenter bee actually. What else was I going to have? Bees? I was going to have a snail, but I don't know where a snail would fit in this little sketch. There was something else, though. Snail. Oh, butterflies. Just really generic butterfly. I don't know. Those little white ones that have a black mark on their wing. Well, everyone is all perfectly separated in here. I think I need a little bit more overlap. Well, what if we are not so stingy with the sunflower? And it's covering up more of the scene. I'm thinking about the pose of this one. I don't know if it necessarily has to be looking at its fellows. Could be looking at a bee. Looking at the cute bee. What's up, buddy? How's your day going? It's going really good, thank you. Sharing these lovely flowers. Maybe we have one flying off, but being partially covered by the sunflower. Oh man, I haven't watched that movie in forever. That was the Disney one, right? So that means I could watch it on Disney Plus. All I remember is the caterpillar has like a German accent. That's the only thing I remember about it. And there was another one that came out around the same time, and it was not nearly as good. I don't remember what that one was. I think it had to do with ants more. Definitely need one if I were to go with this composition. Definitely need one showing the whole griffin, because right now all the parts that would indicate it's a griffin are all covered. This one's covered by the edge, and this one's covered by the sunflower. Oh, ants. Yeah. Ants. Hold on, I want to look this up. What's the difference between A Bug's Life and ants?
According to Screen Rant, A Bug's Life, wider variety of characters. While ants might be funnier and also play home to some brilliant ant characters, when it comes to the wider cast, A Bug's Life is much better. The circus characters bring so much to this Pixar classic in terms of both comedy and emotions.
Huh. It's interesting. The title of that article is 5 Reasons Ants is King and 5 Reasons A Bug's Life Takes the Crown. How Pixar took on DreamWorks and won. So which one's DreamWorks? I think Pixar's got to be A Bug's Life. Oh man, Bee Movie. I have never seen Bee Movie, and I don't think I'll ever be able to watch it because my brother was obsessed with those, what are they called? YouTube poops? That were like, play Bee Movie, but every time it says this, then it starts the movie over, but twice as fast. So, I can never watch Bee Movie because I have seen so many of those other videos of like, what the heck? Why would you do this? This crazy, crazy stuff. It's been completely ruined. I'm glad it's not just me that has this feeling like it was A Bug's Life versus Ants. So here's even an article called Why Pixar's A Bug's Life versus Ants Was Such a Big Deal 20 Years Ago. Yeah, I guess Ants is the DreamWorks one. I suppose. Oh, but it's time! Well, we will pick this illustration back up next week. Oh, one last look at these. Mad Creations. The collaboration between me and Wolf here. These bottom ones are pretty cute though. This one is still cute, but in a weird kind of, I don't know, otherworld kind of way or something. And we got the Baba Yaga done as well. So this was an extremely, I feel like it always is. It's extremely productive session. I'm not sure which thing to leave up for my little camera to look at. There. So let's find someone to raid. And that'll be it for today, but I'll be back tomorrow as usual for some fun Chibi Friday. I'll be finishing up that broccoli. And I'm thinking about whether I want to do a set of subscriber badges or do a emote, but I'll think about that tomorrow. So let's check out who's on Twitch right now. Anyone on Twitch? Okay, the only art channel that is on right now is Margot Simone Art, and we haven't rated her in a while, so let's head over to her channel. Her title, I can't read the whole thing, but the first part says, The Fanciest of Frogs. So that should be fun. Oh, Wolf says emote. Okay, I'm making them for you guys, so if that's what you request, then that's what I'll do. I'll finish that broccoli badge, and then we'll do another ranger emote. Yay, thanks for helping me decide on that. This is so easy. Okay, I'm just going to a different instance of Twitch so that I can be absolutely sure. Oh, but hold on. Let me make sure my sound is off. I didn't do that yesterday, and I had to quickly keep forgetting to turn my speakers off so that there's not like that reverb or whatever. Okay, here we go. Okay, /raid Margot Simone Art. Did I spell that correctly? Yes. Boom! Yay, raid has been created. While the countdown goes, let me thank you for joining me today. It was super fun and awesome. I hope you also had a great time. It's amazing when the streamer is the one having the most fun, I guess. I can't tell if you're having fun, but I definitely had fun, and it's thanks to you. The stream is ready. The raid is ready. So I will be back tomorrow, same time as usual, for a Chibi Friday stream. Hope to see you then, and let's go raid Margot Simone art. Yay! The raid worked. So if you're still on my channel or watching the recording later, as I said, that's it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope to see you then, and thank you for watching.